All right, let's start streaming, everybody. Let's have a look at what we're doing today. It is a Disney Plus kind of announcement chat. Before I get to that, as we wait for people to roll in, I'm just going to remind you, as always, check the description below. Right now, we're doing a lot of giveaways. Right now, it's a 55-inch 4K TV from Insignia, I believe. It's an Amazon Fire-enabled TV. So if you want a chance to win that, check out the description below. We're going to be doing a lot of those in the future. So if you haven't, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that you watch out for those giveaways because they're going to change up every couple of weeks and we'll keep doing different giveaways. So keep up to date with that. All right, now today we're talking Disney Plus, which pretty much won Comic-Con. If you paid attention at all to what was happening at Comic-Con, Disney Plus was the big winner. They did a ton of different announcements there. So we're going to talk about what those announcements were, especially regarding the MCU. We'll revisit whether this means that Disney Plus is an absolute must-have or if it's something that we still want to kind of hold off and wait and see on. And I'm also going to be addressing a few questions that we got from a previous Disney Plus video that I thought would be relevant to talk about today. So some viewer comments there. Of course, if you are watching right now, make sure that you go ahead and comment as well. I will be very interested to hear what you have to say about Disney Plus and these Marvel announcements that they made at Comic-Con. So hit up those comments and let me know what you think as well. So first up, let's go ahead and just talk about what they announced at Disney this year. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to this screen that I've got. This was their big announcement this year, was Marvel Phase 4. So Marvel Phase 4 is basically everything that's coming up after the Endgame storyline. So I don't know exactly where Spider-Man, the one that just came out, fits in on this. I would think that's post-Endgame, but I'm not sure why that's not included in Phase 4. But I guess it's just all the stuff that's coming up. And so if you look on this screen, and let's see if I can use my cursor to point out a few things, you'll notice that on a lot of these logos here, you can see the Disney Plus logo underneath it. Those are the ones that we're going to be most concerned about today. So it starts as soon as next year with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, by the way, sounds like a 90s buddy cop thing. It sounds like or like a sitcom or something. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, maybe a little more intense. But that one's going to be coming up first, and then we have WandaVision the year after that. Loki, which we found out does pick up, as people were kind of speculating. This series picks up with the spoilers ahead, everybody. The Endgame version of Loki where he picks up the Tesseract and disappears. And so that's, the Adventures of Loki coming up with that. Hawkeye is also similarly going to follow that Endgame version of Jeremy Renner's character that we saw there where he goes all Ronin and he's, chopping off bad guys' heads and whatnot. That's going to be him in that one. And then this is an interesting one. Marvel Studios' What If? And this is apparently a non-canon, I believe it's an animated series that will ask questions like, what if this character had picked up Thor's hammer? What if this had happened? What if that had happened? And then they'll just go on and do some fun looks at, what if, I guess. Anyway, all the other ones that you see here, the Eternals, Black Widow, Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, these are all Marvel Cinematic Universe, actually cinematic, meaning they're going to be in the theaters. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is billed as Marvel's the first horror movie in the MCU, which could be interesting, I suppose. And then Thor, Love and Thunder, the big announcement there is that Natalie Portman is back. I won't speculate as to exactly why she was gone for so long, but she's back. She's going to be playing the Thor character. I'm sure it'll be kind of a, passing of the baton, the Mjolnir baton, whatever it is. So those will all be interesting, but the Disney Plus ones are many and interesting and could be good for Disney Plus. We'll talk more about that. Let me go to the comments here. David Cole, is it something I'm going to try, then make a decision after it is something I'm going to try, then make a decision after I see what all they have to offer. Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe we do talk a little bit more about Disney Plus and what we know so far, including this stuff. So with Disney Plus right now, we know that it will cost $6.99 a month or $69.99 a year if you go for the full year. For how long, I'm not sure. We'll maybe come back to that. But the launch date is November 12th. So we still have, hang on, let's check it out. 112 days, 17 hours, and 4 minutes, and 18 seconds, apparently. So we still have a little ways to go before we get there and see what it is that they're going to have to offer us. But it is coming. So $6.99 a month or $70 a year. This is a screaming good deal, and as I stated in a previous video, I'm not sure that this will remain the case. At $7 a month, it doesn't matter how many people sign up. That's a loss right there for Disney. They're producing so much content that there's no way that they can cover that with $7 a month, even if they got everybody in the country to sign up. I don't know, maybe that's not true, but I'm going to go with they're going to be taking a loss on this. Now, Disney, of course, can afford to do that. It's Disney. They've got all the money in the world. They bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion. They can afford to take a loss. But the question is, for how long? And so that will be the question that's going to be answered by this service after I think about the first year. So in that first year, they're going to sign up everybody and their dog who's going to want to get in on Disney Plus. They want to watch all the MCU stuff, the new Star Wars content, the Mandalorian stuff. They want to watch all the Disney original movies, all the Disney Channel original movies from the 90s, if you recall from my previous video. Very excited to have Brink on demand all the time. I'm sure you are too. And so with all of this, I think they're making it absolutely irresistible. The way that Netflix was, 6-7 years ago. It's absolutely irresistible at this rock bottom price. They're going to get everybody in the door. And then once everybody's in the door, I'm not saying they're going to jack up their prices like crazy, but you could very easily see where they go from $7 a month to where Netflix is now for a reasonable HD package, $13 a month. I would not be surprised if within 2 years we're up to that $13 a month. So that's my speculation. I have no announcements that I've seen that say that this is going to be the case, but that's what I'm suspecting. Let's see. Dave Jones, is it for the UK? I have no idea. To be honest, I haven't looked into that at all. Most of what we do on the Reviews.org channel deals with stuff that is typically available in the US only, or maybe in Canada sometimes. A lot of the services that we talk about, Netflix being an exception, of course. But when we talk about a lot of live TV streaming and stuff, we've mostly been concerned with the US. But that is a great question. If you would like to look that up and let me know in the comments, then I'll be sure to tell everybody. Will they have Pixar originals never seen in theater? I don't know. They haven't announced any that I'm aware of. With Pixar projects, with the intensive amount of production that goes into those, I would be surprised if there was something that went just to Disney Plus. Unless it was a short, maybe something like that. But I don't... look, this could be a bit ignorant on my part. I just don't see that happening outside of, a big wide release where they need to recoup those costs. They need a surefire way to recoup those costs. And with Pixar movies, they have that. As soon as they release those, they start making money. It's almost guaranteed. So... let me go to some of the previous comments that we got on the Disney Plus launch announcement video that we did 2 or 3 months ago when the announcement finally came out that they were doing this. And so these are a little bit old, but like I said, I think that these are pretty relevant to where Disney Plus is right now, where it fits in with the streaming landscape. So Moon Doggy comments, LOL, Disney Plus just killed Apple's streaming service. And I think this gets at something that that we may want to pay attention to. And this is something that that is a common complaint, or at least a common comment on our channel, and that's that there are too many streaming services out there and they can't all compete, and a bunch of them are going to die, and that might be true. But I'm not sure that it is. When it comes to something like Apple Plus versus Disney Plus, it seems like a bit of a false equivalency. Like they could very well not just compete but thrive together. And so when you have Apple Plus offering something different than Disney Plus, then people who want both things are happy to sign up for both. If you only wanted one of them, then you were never going to sign up for the other one in the first place. There was another one. Oh, Martin Phillips on that old video commented, if I was a kid, this is about Disney Plus. If I was a kid, I would be excited, but I don't care. Disney has already said that they're going to limit what shows and movies they'll put on Disney Plus. Nothing over R-rated or NC-17, so not a Netflix killer or an Apple TV killer. And I think this is true. This is kind of a smart comment. It's good to point out that Disney Plus is for a specific audience. It's there for a specific reason. It's more family oriented. Now they are, with all these Marvel movies, they're getting up into the PG-13 range, and so it's not just for little kids or something. But if how do I put this? If you will not watch Disney Plus because it's too childish, I would encourage you to get in touch with the childlike place in your heart, because there's a lot of great content out there. Yeah, there's a lot of, maybe you don't want to watch Snow White over and over again, but there's going to be a lot of other stuff. The Mandalorian promises to be a pretty interesting and adult-oriented piece of content. So we've got a few things there that's not just necessarily for kids, but it is something to keep in mind where they do have a certain aesthetic that they're going for. Disney has for years been playing the lowest common denominator game. They want to appeal to as wide an audience as possible, where that may not be the case for, say, an Apple Plus. I don't know. We'll see. HBO, certainly. That's much more adult-oriented. Tim says, I think after they raise the price of Disney Plus, there will be massive cancellations and Disney would have to worry. I don't think so, if they are smart about it. If they went from $7 a month and then jumped straight to HBO Max levels where they're charging, we don't know the price for sure on that, but say $17 a month like HBO Max. If they did that, then yes, a horde of people would cancel. But Disney's not that dumb. They're going to start at $7 a month, and then they're going to, after, say, a year, they'll announce a new slate of shows. They're saying, look at all of this stuff coming up. Make sure that you stick around. Oh, by the way, it's going to be $9.99 a month now. So, $3 extra or $2 extra, or whatever the case might be. It'll be those incremental changes. And I think after about 2 years, maybe 2.5 or 3 tops, but I would guess about 2 years, then we get up to those Netflix $13, that $13 range. And when that happens, we're all going to be so used to Disney Plus, and they will have had so much buzz for so long that it'll be the way Netflix is now, where people just assume, when they're calculating out their monthly bills, yes, of course we have Netflix. Obviously, not everybody does that, but I'm sure many of us operate that way. David says, how about release a movie in theaters like the same day as Disney Plus? That would be cool. You have to pay extra to see it, but that would be cool. Like $20 for a new release movie. Not gonna happen. I would love it. I love it when stuff is available for me to watch right away, but the theater chains won't allow that to happen. If Disney comes out and says, we're gonna simultaneously release this in movie theaters and on our streaming service, then the theaters they'll just say, fine, we're not going to carry your movie. Disney has a lot of clout, but I don't think they have quite enough clout to get past that from the theater owners who would refuse to carry the movie, because it costs a lot of money for a theater to put something on a screen for X number of weekends. And if that movie is simultaneously released to a streaming service, then they're almost guaranteed not to recoup the costs per theater for that movie release. And so I just don't see that happening. Dave Jones says no UK service at start. That's good to know. Thank you for the update. So if you are in the UK or probably anywhere outside the US, you'll have to wait for Disney Plus to get started. Let's see. Is it Mishael? I'm not quite sure how to say that. Disney being Disney, it will cause others to adjust their streaming business models. The power of a tiny mouse that doesn't exist. Yeah, it's you're right in that this is a game changer for the streaming industry. What this means for everybody else, or I should say, what everybody else will do in response to Disney Plus, I'm not sure. It will be very interesting to watch, but I think we can assume that this is going to kick off, and we're already seeing this, but this will really kick off a mass exodus from streaming services of licensed content. And so when you log into Netflix is constantly trying to get you to watch their originals. They want you to watch Stranger Things and Altered Carbon and, Narcos and whatever original content they have on Netflix. But as you scroll through, you'll see that they also have a lot of Disney content, or they also have a lot of AT&T's content on there. And all of these streaming services now, especially Disney Plus, setting up shop with their own services, they're all going to pull those licenses. They're going to take their original content. It's kind of like take my ball and go home. And you'll have to decide what is most important to you. There's going to be a lot of territorial stuff going on with all of these companies, and then a lot of viewers will probably will do a lot of jumping. So, for instance, right now I signed up for Hulu again because Veronica Mars is back. Love Veronica Mars, and you should too. Veronica Mars is back, so I signed up for Hulu because I want to watch the 8-episode return, the 4th season of Veronica Mars. And so I signed up, and when it's done, I'll have to take a look and see, okay, is there enough to keep me here, or can I cut that $6 from my monthly budget and either save it or go sign up for something else. I think there will be a lot of that with the original content, people saying, okay, there's a new episode or a new season of Stranger Things, I've got to sign up for Netflix, and then I'm done after I'm done binging it. Same thing with Disney Plus. And so all of these services will kind of be in an arms race to create the coolest, most buzzworthy original content to keep you on their service. And so you'll see, in the old days of TV, there were seasons, that spanned several months. And now in the age of binge watching, you'll see releases that happen monthly or weekly, really cool new releases that are just desperately trying to keep you in there. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we want to talk about. We don't know enough yet about bundling and what bundling is going to look like. We know, Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, maybe FX Plus, which they're talking about setting up as a kind of competitor to HBO Max. So more of an adult-oriented streaming service through FX Plus. There could be some bundling options there. We shall see. Anyway, if there are any other questions that you guys have, let me know in the comments. I'll give it just another moment or two before I sign off for today. But my final thought here is that Disney Plus, like I said before, they won. they pretty much won the Comic-Con war, to have the coolest announcements. And they did it especially with the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff that you can see here on the screen. They've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. And so, in my opinion, this, at least in November and for the first few months after that, Disney Plus is an absolute must-have. You're not going to really get away with not having Disney Plus. And then after that, we'll see. 6 months later, 12 months later, will they have enough gas to be as ubiquitous as Netflix is now. Let's see. Did I say anything about international release info? Well, Dave Jones earlier in the chat was helping me out with that. He mentioned no UK to start. I haven't looked a ton into what the international release info is, and so I can't tell you any details about other countries other than that the UK will not be available to start, and I think we can assume that that's the case for anyone else outside the US. Maybe Canada. Again, we'd have to look it up, but I wouldn't count on it. I would count on it probably in 2020 when some of these big shows are going to be hitting Disney Plus. So thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate having you here. Make sure that you are subscribed, of course, because we're going to be doing a lot more live streams like this. I think I'm going to make this a regular Monday thing. We'll be talking about yes, streaming, a lot of streaming stuff, but home tech in general. So whether it comes to your TV, the TV services that you're using, or the actual TVs that you're using, we may be talking more about products and devices that you use to do all this streaming. So I hope you stick around for that. And make sure that you are in the description below checking out the giveaways. We're doing giveaways every couple of weeks. We're changing out what it is that we're giving away. So go check out this one. It is a 55-inch 4K TV from Insignia. It's an Amazon Fire TV enabled TV. It's a pretty great giveaway, so make sure you check that out. Again, make sure you are subscribed. Tell your friends. Leave comments. We really appreciate all you guys watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.